He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another terrifying, gorifying, H.P. Lovecraft adaptifying episode of The Dark Side Drive-In Intermission. As always, your hosts with the most ghosts, Stefan.
Hey, thank you, Darkside Dave. It's good to be back. I know we haven't done an intermission in a hot minute, so I'm excited to get started.
Me too, but allow me to finish my introduction so I can go back to playing video games in your living room. And your other host, Shane.
What's up, Dave? Hey, so I know you've been playing Valorant. So what's the new hotness? What's getting your bones tingling?
Well, the last couple weekends I was playing the Black Ops 6 open beta.
Oh no.
Darkside Dave is a sucker for those shooters. The more toxic the community, the better. I thrive on their negativity.
Dave, that's not healthy, man. You should be playing more wholesome games like Minecraft.
No, I hate digging in the dirt. It reminds me of the mausoleum from whence I came. Given that I'm a 1,000-year-old lich or something.
Oh, yeah, good point. I forgot that you probably came from, a grave or something like that.
It's unclear. Anyway, I'm going to go back now and play some more Valorant. Now that we're talking about it, I crave the toxicity.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Dave. And then the worst part is, like, Dave has to work in the morning.
Doing what?
I'm forklift certified, Shane.
Oh, my God.
And you might ask yourself, how did I get forklift certified given that I don't have eyes and also no identification because I've been dead for thousands of years? And also I'm from another dimension or something. It's crazy. Like labor standards in the United States are pretty lax. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my God.
All right, bye.
Chain rattle, chain rattle. It's like, oh man, he's gone. He just, for some reason, is dragging chains around this time.
Hey, I just want to take a second and are we really on Black Ops 6?
Yeah, we are, man.
Oh my God, I feel so old.
Well, if you think about how many modern warfares there have been, it's like, oh, but we just got Modern Warfare 3, so how many Modern Warfares can there be? That was the second Modern Warfare 3. They went and remade Modern Warfare, so like now we have like two universes of Modern Warfare storylines. It's just the difference is Black Ops, kind of. They're like basically, abridged. I think that here's my conspiracy theory brain. This isn't the point of our podcast, but whatever, we can do what we want. I think that they made a fatal error in the original Modern Warfare 2, and that is when they had General Shepard betray and murder Ghost, who everyone loved. Yep. So they went, and I think that the reason for like the entire Modern Warfare remake trilogy is just to bring Ghost back. The creators realized they'd like really like screwed the pooch on that, and they're like, I want Ghost back. We'll just reboot this story.
Yeah, but like that had so much weight to it, though.
I thought it was just a surprise twist. I think that it was a little bit.
So you think they should have killed Price?
No.
Or you're saying just have the general not double cross you at all?
No, the general double crossing was a good twist. I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I was just sad that Ghost died. So that's a sign that it was actually a good twist because it impacted me.
Yeah, it's like when they killed Cade 6, like, you know, because they didn't want to pay Nathan Fillion what he's worth.
You got to bring up the Destiny betrayal of Cade 6.
Yeah.
But he's back now, you know?
Well, because they lost Lance Reddick. Very convenient how that all went down.
I think it was before Lance Reddick passed away. But
they brought him back that early?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They brought him back.
I guess that was like 10 years ago. Holy shit.
It's been Destiny's been around for a while. And they killed him like right at the beginning, Destiny 2 or something like that?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, and then like one of the subsequent DLCs, it was before Lance Reddick passed away. And honestly, I think that they replaced Lance Reddick with Keith David. I don't know if you knew that. And it's I think that's a pretty inspired choice. I think that like Lance Reddick's voice is like probably a little smoother than like Keith David's, but I think there's enough gravitas there that if you're going to replace the voice actor, not just retire the character, I think that's a pretty good way to go about it. I'm a sucker for Keith David, dude. They put him in anything, I'm buying him. Like he was in Mortal Kombat 11 where he played Spawn. And I was like, well, I'm buying that DLC. And then they put him in Call of Duty as Spawn. And I'm like, well, I'm obviously going to pay the, $20 to get like the premium skins in Call of Duty. By the way, can we talk about how Call of Duty is basically just becoming Fortnite at this point? It's just throwing in random characters and stuff like that.
Right. It's like Fortnite with like realistic graphics.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's like characters from stuff. Like they have the guy from The Boys, the Homelander man, and then they have like Godzilla skins, and then they have Gundam ones now. It's like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, it's like what PUBG wanted to be.
I will say that I did pay money for the Snoop Dogg one because I gotta get my Snoop on.
And it is funny, like hearing the voice lines.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I still see a lot of Nicki Minaj's out there. People playing with the Nicki Minaj skin.
Those are funny. Who is the other one that's really funny? Oh, 21 Savage.
See this is one of those things like for our listeners, this is something they don't know, but I'm so frustratingly bad with music artists, like keeping up with them. Like I had no idea who 21 Savage was. I thought he was fake. I thought he was like a made up character for this thing. God. And they're like, no, funny. He's a famous rapper. I'm like, what? But I'm not like in a hole or anything. Like I know who Nicki Minaj is. I know who Snoop Dogg is, but obviously Snoop Dogg's been around since I was a kid. So yeah, clearly I know who Snoop Dogg is.
Yeah, but like Nicki Minaj was college for you. So
yeah, I had my ear to the ground a little bit more.
Right.
But yeah, I'm so disconnected because I basically listen to what Scandinavian folk, pagan folk, and like German folk metal. Like I'm not listening to anything that is like remotely modern. And I was recently a friend of the show, Witch of the Woods, was like trying to explain to me who some of these like famous pop stars are. And I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. Like, I think that there's a big one like Chapel Roan. And another friend of the show, Hoover, was actually like, Chapel Roan is like all of your favorite artists' favorite artist. I'm like, I doubt it since I don't listen to a lot of American music, but I do believe that you are right and that she is that influential right now.
Well, that's that Pink Pony Club.
I have no idea what that means. What are you talking about?
The one that was trending on TikTok where they had like the Starfish Patrick, like doing the fake voice, like the AI voice. There's no way you didn't hear it.
I did not hear it.
I promise you, I'll send you one later, you 1000% have heard that song. Like
Wait.
Just some bastardized version. It's on almost every TikTok for the last like 3 months.
Wait, are you talking about a Patrick song or are you talking about a Chapel Roan song?
So the AI is Patrick Starfish singing the Chapel Roan song.
What song? Which song?
The Pink Pony Club.
I don't believe I've ever heard that. I'm pretty sure that the only Chapel Roan song that I know for sure is a Chapel Roan song.
It's Plankton, not Patrick Starfish.
Is it could have been anybody that I do. It could have been Sandy the squirrel. I still wouldn't have heard it.
No, they have Mr. Krabs does it too.
Clancy Brown? The point I'm trying to get at though is the only song that I verifiably know for sure is Chapel Roan's is Hot to Go.
Okay.
Because it's in so many commercials on like right now. It's like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then I know the only other like famous pop person that I know right now, a song of theirs is Sabrina Carpenter. Has a song called Espresso because there's like a very like viral TikTok meme of like that one British girl who interviews people like singing espresso to a very uncomfortable Sabrina Carpenter. So that's the only reason I know any of that is because of that meme. Is very funny to me, even though I don't know what it denotes. Like most memes are like, it's like the Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra thing. Like most memes are shorthand for some kind of like, something, but I don't know what this one denotes. Is like, is it uncomfortable? Is it weird? Is it, I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. So yeah, it's like one of those memes. It's just like, I don't get this. I guess send me down to a planet and I'll hang out with this guy and we'll figure it out together with the knife. That's a Star Trek reference for everyone.
So like when we were kids, I would say, I don't know if it was our generation, maybe the one right before us, like the 10 years where like we helped kind of push the internet. And like, I remember like in high school, like finding these like websites, like, Newgrounds or like You're the Man Now Dog, specifically that one.
Oh my God.
And, like,
I forgot about You're the Man Now Dog.
Yeah. Where all
you
these
guys
memes
were obsessed with that.
Yeah. But like when we were younger in high school, like that was like where you found memes. Like that was like the OG like internet shit posting troll stuff. So
it's either
like,
that or go to 4chan and then run the risk of
4chan,
running
like
into
B
fascism. Like,
yeah, God, that place, that 4chan, talk about a.
You won't find a more wretched hive of
video.
scum and villainy in the internet than
it's crazy.
4chan.
And what's weird about 4chan is that used to be like the place that like I felt like people would defend other people the most, and then it just turned into like Reddit. When Reddit closed down, all the garbage from Reddit went to 4chan, but I shouldn't talk shit on 4chan. They'll find me. But anyways,
the only thing I remember about 4chan in college was, so we had some friends that were like really in those like recesses. Yeah. And one was our friend of the show, Bonk. And he actually, I remember one time, like one night we were just obsessed with finding out what the probe droid says in Empire Strikes Back. Remember the probe droid that drops on Hoth? And like we were like on 4chan and finally someone sent us a meme of it, just said Frimmin on the Frim Fram. And we were like, this is perfect. And then for a while, Frimmin on the Frim Fram was like one of our code words for things. If you remember that.
It sure was, dude.
It sure was.
Sure was.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're not here to rehash our memories of times gone by. We're here to do a podcast.
A what?
So ordinarily on the Dark Side Drive-In, we would watch a movie and talk about the movie. But this is our intermission, so we can just do what we want, and we will. We will do what we want, and no one can stop us. But also, we do have an agenda. So I think the first thing on our agenda is house creeping.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to pick on me.
I'm going to, but not yet. Okay. First, I'm going to let you get the house creeping done before I bring the hammer down.
Through the creeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, some channel updates. We have our stuff's. We took a teeny break. I started a new job, so kind of I had to travel a lot, so kind of threw our recording and release path off trajectory. But we should be back to normal now. AGB still going strong. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think right now he's streaming Space Marine 2.
Ooh, the Warhammer
Fridays.
game?
Yeah, it's sick.
I want that so bad. It's not in the budget right now, but I super want it.
It's unbelievable. I can't even believe they were able to make that game. The amount of enemies on the screen, plus like just the gore. It's just, they really knocked it out of the park. And I was kind of nervous because Saber Interactive, while they made good games, like they have recently had some pretty heavy misses with some of their releases. So I was happy to see that this one kind of was a banger. And then so Fridays he does like Fortnite, or he'll do like it's like a free day for him. And I think he had another game that he's been kind of pushing through. But yeah, go check his channel out. He's _AGB at Twitch. A lot of fun. He's a funny guy, so he just likes to kid around and he talks with the audience and stuff. For the Low Key Arcade, which is our YouTube channel, we're still posting 1 or 2 videos a week pretty often. We're about to introduce a new segment. It's still in the works where we are going to go over like mods for older games to try to make them better. And then we've been talking about maybe dipping into this new Deadlock stuff. I don't know if anyone's played that game, but it's a blast. It's a lot of fun. a couple of us really like MOBAs, so that's kind of like right up our alley. So we'll be kind of tossing that around. So if you have any feedback on that.
Speaking of toxic communities, am I right? MOBAs?
Well, yeah, oh my God. So a couple of our friends are really into League of Legends, which I would say is probably prime toxicity. It's so bad that they had to change the client. So when you leave a game, it automatically mutes all the players. So if you start like spamming chat, it automatically mutes you, because people like after a match were just destroying each other in chat. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, I think and then we have a couple other shows like kind of in the works. They're still being polished, I guess would be the best way. And then we actually had some pretty cool ideas. I'm not going to say what they are now, but Stefan had some really good ideas, and I think they're going to be what a lot of people want to see. I know some of our episodes run long. We get really into details. So we're trying to dip into the quick like TikTok and Instagram reel world, because we love doing what we do, and we're not going to change that. But we understand.
Speak for yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I do like it.
Yeah, right.
But wait, what are you talking about? I thought I knew what you were talking about, but now I don't think I do, because I was thinking you meant like me streaming horror games, because like I would like to try to get that started for October.
Yeah. So
but now I don't know what you're talking about.
So, okay. So I'll just say it. So Stefan and I, well, the horror games are one thing. And,
yeah, I think the audience will love watching me scream like a baby when I'm playing a horror game. Watch a 37-year-old man cower. Run, don't walk to your Twitch.
And what's funny is, so like Loki Arcade, so basically right now I'm trying to find obscure demos on Steam to play that are like fun and cool. And I don't purposely pick horror games, but there are a lot of really cool horror games that I genuinely want to play. So like sometimes that channel morphs into that for a couple weeks, and then I try to purposely like, okay, I got to play a couple other things. So
and now I'm going to do Ori and the Blind Forest or something cute.
I love them. It's
a good game.
Nothing scarier than when you're like really far away from a save point and you're like, I don't know what to do. Like you're like one hit left and you're like, do I go back or do I? Yeah. So I don't know. That game could be kind of nerve wracking.
It can be stressful, like any of those like Metroidvania style games. Because on your say so, I actually started playing Shovel Knight, which was like very much like I think this game hates me. Sorry, I kind of interrupted your thought there. I was just like thinking about that. So yeah, go ahead and continue.
Well, what I was saying is, we're not opposed to like if the horror stuff takes off, we'll keep doing the horror stuff. Whatever you all want to see, and we enjoy playing pretty much anything. So let us know. Feedback always helps us. So
feed us back.
Yeah. So that's all the creeping I had.
All right. Well, then it's time for me to put on my my grammar police hat.
Oh God.
So Shane,
what did I misspell?
Shane, first of all, I love you.
Okay.
I know you work hard, but we got to talk about your ellipses usage, buddy. You're number one. You're going overboard. No. You're going way overboard with the ellipses usage. Like, are you doing it on purpose? Because it's upsetting. Yes. And number two is
100%.
So the Associated Press style guide, when captioning stuff and like having like closed captioning, is that you don't put a space in between ellipses. I've always disagreed with that, but you're supposed to put a space at the end of an elliptical sentence, like the end of the ellipses, when you put it into other things, and then you don't. And I almost stabbed my eyes out when Everything Is Jocelyn came out, and I went to share it onto Instagram, and I saw that because you didn't put a space at the end of the ellipses in Everything Is Jocelyn, it made the entire thing skip down a line, like it was one chunk of text like stuck together. Dude, we're like, honestly, like you got it. This is like, you're a war criminal to me at this point. Like, what are you doing?
So, the reason I did that in that episode is because I wanted it to stay in the same string. So like, if I would move it down, it would have cut it off. So like when you look at when you pull it up on the podcast, you can see the whole sentence. Oh, it's not really a sentence. So, but, there was some thought behind that. No, so I know how to use ellipses, and the reason I do it, it's not it's not for grammatical effect, it's more for dramatic effect.
I know, I got so flustered that I used the word elliptical incorrectly. That's not really what you say. An elliptical is like referencing oval shapes. Ellipses is just like But yeah, no, you gotta relax with the ellipses, buddy. Like,
well, hey, I hope you didn't read the episode that dropped today.
Yeah, I did. That's what prompted this. I didn't even start listening to it because I was so upset. I was like asleep in my chair. I woke up, I looked at my phone, I saw it dropped, and I was like, oh, I wish I didn't have eyes. I wish I was like Darkside Dave and I didn't have eyes right now.
Oh, I didn't answer your question.
No.
Okay, so what I was talking about earlier was, so you're talking about the streaming the horror games. I'm talking about doing the video stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're looking into a new software to do video podcasts. I don't know if we're going to actually release the video the only platform we could do that on is Spotify. But I think for me to do that, I would have to host on a separate platform for both, and I'm not really interested in that right now. So most likely what would happen is it would either go to YouTube or we just create clips, which is probably what's going to happen, and post them on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff, Facebook. So that's what I was referring to. So,
oh man.
But yeah, I will chill out on my elliptical usage.
Yeah, chill out on your use of ellipses. See how flustered I got over it?
Yeah, you were pretty upset. I didn't know what it was going to be. I was like, great, what did I do wrong? And then I'm like, I probably misspelled something.
No.
And I was going to name the episode that dropped today, Rhyme Time. I was going to use time, but like the spice, like the herb.
Now that would be funny. That would be funny to me. No, don't change it.
I can change. No, it'll push it. No one will even know. They'll just wake up and it'll be the right one.
You know who will know? Chris, who's already listened to the episode. He's like,
he's already
on it. Yeah.
He's the man. He keeps me going.
No, yeah, it's good to know that like there's one steadfast fan out there who always listens to our stuff. Yeah.
I'm always like, are we doing the right stuff? Is this funny? Do we like doing this? And then he's just like sending us shit in Facebook. I'm like, oh, this guy's the best.
It is good to have that live feedback for sure.
Yeah, he's great.
Although that last episode that just dropped, the Lair of the White Worm one, I am worried about our energy levels towards the end there, because it was like 3 a.m. my time, I think, when we were getting to the end of it. And like I could tell you were fading. And I was doing my best. I was trying to be a good soldier, but man, that was tough at the end there.
It was okay. Again, so behind the curtain, I was traveling for work. We talk about it in the episode. And I had been doing plant tours for this was my last trip. So it was 3 weeks off. I was 3 weeks traveling like every week. And we didn't start recording until like 10 my time. So midnight here in Pennsylvania. And by the time we were done, it was 1 or 2 in the morning for me. So yeah, I was dragging. I had to, right before the episode, and I edited some of it out because I was still eating. I had to pound a bag of Skittles and drink a Coke just to get enough sugar in me to keep me going. But it was actually a pretty good episode. It turned out really well. I tried so you're going to hear a couple so we had a couple audio glitches when we recorded the episode. And I didn't really think they were a problem in editing, but then I used a new tool that I have to edit, and it like trimmed a couple of those a little too close. Like anyways, you guys don't care about editing, but there's a couple spots where it's going to sound like our sentences or our like thoughts are just cut off quickly. I don't know how to fix that. Some of it didn't come through in the recording, and some of it was because I tried a new like software for editing. So, it'll be tightened up by this one. You won't even be able to tell. Yeah, we'll be fine. But yeah, it was a great episode though.
Yeah. I mean, I finally got to do Lair of the White Worm, which I'd been jonesing for that for a while. So.
And like I said in the description that Stefan loved, snake vampires. Enough said, right?
Snake vampires?
Who doesn't love snake vampires, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess mongoose priests, I would assume. Probably don't care for them.
Ooh.
Hey, no respect. All right.
No respect. Try the veal.
Take my wife, please.
Oh, that's so good.
All right. Rodney Dangerfield aside, what's next, Shane? What's the next thing?
My favorite segment.
Oof. The worst segment on Earth is
the worst segment on Earth.
On this and any other Earth.
The 20 questions like.
20
the reason why you all download this podcast. The reason why we have friends.
The reason for the season.
The reason the world spins. The reason why the Earth isn't flat. It is
the terrible 20s.
Emphasis on terrible.
Emphasis on terrible. You already had that joke earlier, and whatever, dude.
I'm going to say it every time because it's how I feel.
But this is our 20 questions.
It works every time.
I'm trying to edit this title, and it's oh, I got it.
Hey.
Aha. By the time everyone wakes up, the rhyme shall begin. Anyways, so this is our 20 questions where we try to stump the man, the myth, the legend, Stefan himself. And today, I think it might happen. I think I watched this with you. I'm a little worried because, well, we'll just get there. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I know you're going to be asking a ton of questions. But Stefan, I actually have a question for you.
What is it?
Are you ready?
I'm the readiest I've ever been, even though I feel increasingly not ready.
This is just for McMurray because I promised him I would do this, and I forgot about it until this exact moment. It's time to play a game.
Oh, no.
Wait, is it, do you want to play a game? I can't remember what he said. I'll have to text him. But yeah, let's do this.
Would you like to play a game?
Would you like to play?
I don't know. I don't know what the quote is. Is it overrated movie series? That is yes. The answer is yes.
How about The Witch of the Woods gets better movies?
Oh.
She'll never defend that. I don't care what she says.
Well, eventually we will.
I don't care how good of friends we are.
Eventually we will let her have her moment to defend it. I just don't think we're ready for that intense of a debate right now. Like, life's really hard. That's more like a winter time debate to be had, not a end of summer, beginning of fall debate.
Well, you forget I also do the editing, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, you're not getting out of this. So
I know. Is it a horror comedy?
No.
Ooh, all right. Is it part of a franchise?
Yes.
So it is part of a franchise. Okay. Is it found footage?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try to lock down an era here. So found footage is quite the wide gulf, though, for found footage movies.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry you asked that question.
Yeah. Let me think. Well, here we go. I'll just knock out a few different subgenres of found footage. Is there zombies?
No.
Are there ghosts?
Yes.
Are there more than 2 entries in this franchise?
No.
More than 2 entries is no. Okay. Is the premise of the found footage thing that they're recording a TV show?
Yes.
Is this the first entry in the series?
Yes.
Is it Grave Encounters?
Yes. Yes. I love this movie so much.
Oh, man, I zeroed in on that so fast.
Yeah, you really did. I think you're better at this than you think you are.
That was 8. Yeah, that was 8 of them.
Yeah.
So, here's what I had. I had horror comedy, which was no. Franchise, yes. Found footage, yes. Zombies, no. Ghosts, yes. More than 2 entries, no. And that was me zeroing in on Paranormal Activity because I thought it could be that.
Right.
And then I is so more than 2 entries, no. Is the premise a TV show? Yes. Is it the first entry in the series because there's only 2? Yes. And then it's Grave Encounters. So that's how quickly I got to it. That was awesome. That was so impressive. Yeah, I'm saying that about myself, about how impressed I am with my own self. But
well, I was worried because the found footage thing, I'm like, because I know that could be a misleader because there's a lot I thought that was going to mislead you a bit. But the question about were there more than 2, that was
you could see that I was getting in on it.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, he got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was onto it pretty fast.
Yeah,
because I know you love that movie because we actually watched that together at the fraternity house, with a bunch of people.
We did,
and I remember that one of the parts of it that I always am like, what was it? They're in one of the hospital rooms, and there's something dripping from the ceiling, and the guy looks up, and a monster man's there, and he goes like the ghost monster, and then just starts chasing him. I'm like, I just wouldn't look up. And you guys are like, what? It's like, that thing was waiting for him to look up before it pounced. I just wouldn't look up. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. I'd never look up. He's like, what the hell, man? I'm dripping on the ground here. Look up so I can scare you. It's like, nope. I'm going to keep looking at the ground. Never looking up. Not me. Not today.
Not this man.
Not this man. Not my baby.
Not I.
So yeah, that was, Not My Baby is a very, college reference too, if you remember from what was it, Frisky Dingo?
Yeah.
Whenever the Xicles have the paternity test thing, and the one guy is like, "You are not the father," and he fires his guns into the air, and it makes the baby cry. And they're like, and now you woke the baby. And he's like, not my baby. There you go. Frisky Dingo. It's on HBO Max, or just Max, I guess, if anyone wants to watch it.
Yeah, what a shame that show died.
Well, yeah, or that Xticles, the spinoff, only went for 2 episodes that only aired one night, are now not available anywhere else.
Is it still owned by the same people?
So what happened was the production company that was doing it was like William Street or whatever, and they went bankrupt overnight. Mm-hmm. And I guess Xticles just vanished off the face of the earth somehow. Like Frisky Dingo still exists. I don't know how it is that Xticles is just gone. Maybe they decided there was only 2 episodes. There's no reason to continue to like air them or anything. I don't know. I have no idea why they just vanished off the face of the earth. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. If I ever became president of the United States, I'd be like, I need a committee to investigate the fate of the Xticles. And then I'd be like immediately impeached. It's like, what a waste of presidential power. It's like, don't you tell me. The American people deserve to know.
That and why the stuff was taken off of Tubi.
I know, man. Well, didn't we find out that the stuff, like, it's on Plex or something now?
Pluto, right?
Is it on Pluto? Okay, yeah, Pluto sounds right.
It's one of the free ones.
Yeah, Plex, I actually thought everything on Plex was free, but it turns out that, like, a lot of that stuff you have to pay for, sort of like on Amazon. Yeah, so it's like a crapshoot.
So all Plex does is it just like connects all these streaming services together. So like if you have like people that don't have Plex and you have like all the streaming services, I highly recommend getting Plex because you can link that all together. So it's one platform to view all your crap. That's what we used it for. But outside of that, it does have some of its own channels and stuff, but nothing of like note, you know.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was the Terrible 20s.
The Terrible 20.
Yeah, I think if we pick movies that aren't weird, I think we're good. So
Grave Encounters is your example of that?
Well, like not obscure, like I don't know.
That
like
one was really big at its time too.
Sure.
Like Grave Encounters was a pretty big deal.
Did you see the second one?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of liked how they wrapped that up. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good. I liked that. Yeah.
Is
the second one the one where they like
scary.
think they left and then they like get on the elevator in the hotel and the elevator opens and they're back in the hospital, or is that in the first one?
That's the first one.
That's
so the second
cool.
one. The second one's when the ghost. I'm not gonna spoil it. So when the entities use their technology to reach that kid on the outside, and then he like lures them to the place.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But there might be a scene where I can't remember if that's the first. I could have swore it was the first one because they're like, oh, we're getting out. And then just opened up and it was the floor.
I think it was the first one, yeah, because there's a whole thing about them like getting out, driving, getting to the hotel, getting into the elevator at the hotel, and then the elevator door opens and they're back in the asylum. I'm like, oh no.
I love that. So the other thing that we all loved and watched at the same time were Marble Hornets, right? So that was like that was a phenomenon. It got killed. The internet ruined that.
They fly too close to the sun.
Yeah, but some of those Marble Hornets were pretty good. I remember you, Garrett, and I, and Hoover. We watched those, remember? And there was that one where the guy was on the couch just sitting there and you're like, wait, is that a person? And then next thing you know, it's like full speed, that person just sprinting. I remember Garrett just like freaking out. And he was like,
yeah, I do remember that. He was like scampering on like all fours or something like that. It was like really crazy.
Yeah, and Garrett's like the speed at which that man left that couch. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, the problem with Marble Hornets though is a lot of the scenes were like, oh man, Slender Man was right there. Did you see it? And it's like, no, I didn't. Like I was so unobservant. And I'm like, man, some guy could just be standing and like, you had to keep going back and being like, there he is. And I'm like, oh, there he is. That is spooky. Like I would just miss it. And you guys would be like freaking out. Like, what was it? That was very funny.
God, I might watch that again. You know, and then like the thing is, so when that was popular, people didn't know that was a hoax. Like it was
yeah, they thought
project.
It was real because people are dumb.
Well, I mean, yeah, whatever.
You know what else? Like talking about Grave Encounters, I have to. It's part of my job. Another movie series that kind of reminds me a little bit of Grave Encounters is Hell House LLC. If you've ever seen any of the Hell House LLC movies, definitely recommend that.
I've seen one.
The first one?
Yeah, I haven't seen the other ones.
I actually can't vouch for any after the first sequel. I know that there's like a third, and then there's like a origin movie. So I think there's like 4. But yeah, the first 2 in that series were very good in my opinion. Like they were very scary, like that spooky clown thing. But the reason it reminded me of it is because that one, like the ghosts or the entities or whatever it is that's in the hotel, like also messes with people. Like at one point they're doing interviews of one of the survivors, and it turns out she didn't survive, and where she's staying is at the hotel, and like the news crew go in and like then they get stuck there. It's like pretty cool. So light spoiler for Hell House LLC, I guess.
I would 100% do a tier list like we did of found footage movies. So if you all want to hear that, I will happily beg Stefan to do that on one of these intermission episodes. I love that style of horror.
Yeah, we might need to really like kind of, I don't know, refine that a little bit, because like you have your Hell Houses, you have your Grave Encounters, but you have something like The Tunnel, which rules, or like Lake Mungo, which rules, but it's not really like the same kind of haunted house like thing as like Grave Encounters or Hell House. Like Lake Mungo is more like more meditative, I feel like, and The Tunnel is like more like a creature feature.
It's still found footage though, right?
It is, yes, correct. That's what I mean. Like, I just feel like, you know, maybe we have to like add additional genre. Like, would you consider like Grave Encounters and like Wreck to be like the same idea? Because like one's zombies and then one's ghosts, but there also might be enough, like there might be like, there's not a ton of found footage movies. So there might be enough that we could, and like, would you consider like, okay, I feel like I'm rambling, but like, so the VHS movies, like I consider them to be found footage, but it's a very different style of found footage, right?
Yeah, I think that's what makes this interesting though, is because you could have all of that like in like it's not saying like these movies are good or bad. Like we're not saying the type of found footage. It's just like I feel like that's a genre, but I get what you're saying. Like some of these don't really fit that mold. I don't know.
They're just like so different. But no, I think I agree. I think that'd be a fun thing to do though. Yeah. I'm so excited for VHS Beyond, dude. The new VHS that's coming out this fall. I think it's actually coming out later this very month, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I thought it was it October 1st or 29th or something?
Or yeah,
it's
October,
Friday, right?
Yeah, I think it's October 4th, maybe. They usually drop on a Friday, so I think it's October 4th. It's going to drop on Shudder.
You're right, October 4th, 40 minutes in.
All right.
Oh, that's hilarious. We're killing it.
We are.
My mic was so hot, dude. I don't know what's going on. My levels are out of control, and I had to turn my mic down, so this will be a fun one. Whatever.
Well, are you ready for me to move on to my segment for this intermission?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So my segment for this one is called Making Love Craft Out of Nothing at All. Making Love Craft Out of Nothing at All. I was wondering how far I'd go with like the lyric parody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I know just how to whisper in the darkness. Or like, and then I know just when to dream quest of unknown Kadath. Like there's all these different like Lovecraft titles. I could try
the whole thing like written out.
Yeah, but well, no, I pulled up the lyrics. I'm like, how easy would it be to make more Lovecraft puns? I'm like, easy, but not worth the time.
Easier than one would think.
Easier, yeah, like better. Even like Air Supply, Cool Air Supply. All right, because Cool Air is a Lovecraft story.
Yeah.
Ah, what up? I'm really, I know what's going on here.
They might not even sue us now.
Probably not. I mean, how could they? This is perfect. So yeah, so we decided what we wanted to do for this. Well, we decided, and by that I mean I did, and I told you I was doing it.
Sure.
Is I'm going to be making love craft out of nothing at all. Basically, the idea of that title is twofold. We're going to be doing talking about a few Lovecraft adaptations within the last like decade or so, but they specifically are going to be low budget ones. That's the nothing at all, because their budgets are like micro budgets. So there's one of those things about like H.P. Lovecraft stories, like, and first here's the thing, before everyone lines up and like, actually, did you know that H.P. Lovecraft is problematic? Like, yeah, dude, I've read his stuff. I know how problematic he is. Yeah, he's super racist, and a lot of the things that he wrote about like betray that racism. And like, don't even give me the thing that like some of his defenders do. It's like at the end of his life, he was starting to improve. It's like, it seemed like he was based on his letters, but we really don't know if he was going to be a better dude or not. He was like pretty racist in a lot of his works, but I think that they're influential enough and interesting enough that you could do a lot of different things with it. And a lot of authors have, like, you have your August Derleth, even Stephen King had done some stuff in like the Cthulhu mythos of H.P. Lovecraft. So pretty far reaching. And number two is a lot of, independent filmmakers, like micro budget filmmakers, will do adaptations of Lovecraft things for two reasons. Number one is you can basically follow the skeleton of an outline of it and do what you want to with it. You can get ones as like, you know, dedicated to the source material as like, you know, I want to say probably maybe Stuart Gordon, like From Beyond. That's a pretty good one. Like it's a little bit more like sexually tinged, but a lot of it is very like, you know, there's the resonator. Here's the stuff that's happening. Here's, you know, Crawford Tillinghast. But then like you have stuff like also Stuart Gordon, Castle Freak, which is a very loose adaptation of The Outsider. So loose, in fact, that it's barely The Outsider. So there's a lot of freedom for filmmakers. And then number two is everything H.P. Lovecraft wrote is now in the public domain. So literally anyone can just take any of the stories and just do what they want to with it. Granted, I feel like a lot of these filmmakers do put like H.P. Lovecraft's like possessive at the front of their title to like cash in on the clout of having Lovecraft's name connected to it. Not because they actually, like, I think that one of them that was like really weird to me was, I want to say it was like H.P. Lovecraft's The Tomb. And it was literally just like a Saw ripoff. It had nothing to do with the story. Like, why did you call it H.P. Lovecraft's The Tomb when you clearly had no interest in adapting the story?
Get that money, baby.
I know, that's what I mean. So each one of these, ironically enough, has the title H.P. Lovecraft's and then the title of what it is. Some of them have bad grammar. Like one of them didn't include the periods between the HP initials and didn't include the apostrophe for the possessive. The Lovecrafts.
Any ellipses usage?
There isn't any. There isn't any, Shane.
That's why they're so bad.
Yes, that's it. So the first filmmaker I'm going to talk about, there's actually two Lovecraftian adaptations that are done here. They don't adapt a specific story. They more like adapt it from like the concepts. And that is writer and director Chad Farron, who did 2020's The Deep Ones, and 2024, that's this year, The Old Ones. So you have The Deep Ones and The Old Ones. And the reason I kind of bring them up as a pair is because, number one, they share a lot of the same actors and stuff like that, because The Old Ones is kind of a sequel of sorts to The Deep Ones. And then also it's interesting that it comes from the same writer-director, Chad Farron, because I don't think you could have like tonally more different two movies. Like The Deep Ones is basically like an adaptation of The Shadow over Innsmouth by way of like humanoids from the deep. And if you know what I mean by that, I think you know where this is going. Essentially, this like fishing town like allows like Dagon to bestow them gifts and stuff like that in exchange for giving them their women for breeding purposes. It's like, oh, so this is gross.
Solid.
This is super gross movie. Fortunately, a lot of the time is with both of them actually is spent just kind of doing like long soliloquies or like random like nonsense Lovecraftian poesy, like, or ritual stuff, chanting, stuff like that. But yeah, so The Deep Ones stars Gina La Piana, Johan Erb, Robert Miano, who will appear in the next one, Sylvia Spross, Jackie Dabiton, or Dabiton, something like that, Nicholas Coster, Kelly Maroney, who's one of our favorites because she was in what was it, Chopping Mall? If you remember Chopping Mall.
Yeah, was she the
she was our final girl of sorts.
Yeah, the final girl with the set everything on fire with the paint.
Yeah, she's the one who like firebombed the paint store and stuff like that, and went to the pet store and like had like spiders spilled on top of her or whatever, snakes. But yeah, so that's Kelly Maroney. She's in this. She has a very small role. She actually has a small role in both of them, and she plays the same character. But this is why I'm like, it's kind of like The Old Ones is kind of a sequel to The Deep Ones. So Kelly Maroney's character is Ambrose Zadok, who is like a local who's like everyone kind of scoffs at her because her daughter went missing. And she's like obsessed with finding her daughter, and she gets like murdered by like a Lovecraftian monster in The Deep Ones. But then in The Old Ones, she shows up, but now she's evil and working for The Old Ones. So it's like, wait. What just happened? Like she died and then changed sides, like changing teams.
Time jump.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah. So The Deep Ones, the plot of it is, Gina La Piana plays Alex. Johan Erb is her husband, Petri. They are renting an Airbnb from, Russell Marsh and Ingrid Crowder, as played by Robert Miano and Sylvia Spross, respectively. Ingrid spends the entire movie pregnant, and it's implied that she's impregnated by a monster, like by a Deep One creature. And by implied, I mean they actually do later on show like tentacles coming out to like grab somebody. So it's like pretty.
Oh, no.
It's not just implied. But yeah, so the Alex and Petrie, they rent an Airbnb at this like seaside like resort community. Everyone in the community is like really friendly, but like too friendly. Like Russell Marsh and Ingrid Crowder, whose place it is they're renting, like keep showing up and doing stuff and like you know, having dinner, having drinks, or like coming in for breakfast. And Alex is not on board with it, but Petrie very much is. And there's like some like subplot about how Alex and Petrie are trying to have a child. They're getting older. They're unable to conceive. So like that's a big part of it. So if you don't see where this is going, yeah, they're going to try to get her to have a monster baby. If you don't see where this is going already.
Dagon's got their back.
Yeah, Dagon's going to show up. Dagon's going to help out. But yeah, basically like Petrie is very like,
he's the most pro.
What?
I'm not going to finish that.
Yeah,
sentence.
don't do that. But yeah, so Alex is suspicious. She finds like documents and stuff that like suggest there's some kind of nonsense afoot. She meets like Ambrose Zadok, who's like terrified because her daughter's been like, you know, disappeared under presumably suspicious circumstances. They meet like the community members. They're all like nice but weird. And there's a bunch of them that are like implied to be already Deep One hybrids, like people who were like birthed of a human mother and like a monster dad. And they often have times where they'll do something like when they try to like Petrie at one point is on a boat with Russell Marsh, and one of the Deep One hybrids is there, and he like puts his hand on his head and like makes weird noises and basically hypnotizes him. It's so weird. There's definitely stuff about the way that they like in this one, they kind of imply that all of the men that are like possessed of old ones are that way because they saw a light out of the ocean and it like gave them the knowledge of like Cthulhu and all these gods and Dagon and all that. So they're like kind of hypnotized, but then the next movie kind of retcons that already. So, yeah, the Deep Ones 2020, I did not like it. I did not like the whole idea of like impregnating people with monster babies. I don't like it tried to make it a little too serious for like what their budget was and what their project was. But then you get to the old ones and I changed my tune entirely. Now this is basically like a Lovecraftian buddy cop thing between some kid whose dad was murdered by a Deep One monster and Russell Marsh from the last movie, who was allegedly killed, but he was actually just freed from the old one's influence, washed down river and got found by this kid Gideon and Gideon's dad, who was then killed by the monster. So it's basically a buddy cop movie of these two dudes traveling across the country to go on a quest to try to find a resonator. Yes, a resonator, Shane, from Beyond, to find a resonator so that Russell Marsh can go back in time to when he first found Cthulhu and then not do it, so that he doesn't get like Cthulhuized and then like start the cult and everything. So,
and which one is this?
This is the second one, the one from this year. It's called the Old Ones. So much better, so much sillier and weirder. Like there's a scene where Gideon the kid is in Russell or like in a diner, and Russell's explaining, it's like, yeah, you can tell who the old ones are, who their servants are, because they'll have like an anchor tattoo on their hand, and also they like to eat clam chowder and drink what was it they drink? There's something that they drink that like gives them away. So it's like, oh, it's obvious who they are. And then the kid sees like this homeless dude, and the one guy's like, yeah, that guy's been housing clam chowder all day. He's like, oh no. And then that was like right when like Russell went to the bathroom, and in the bathroom he's being attacked by this homeless guy who transformed into a shoggoth and is like grabbing him with tentacles under the bathroom stall, and the kid like runs in and starts fighting him. It's so weird. It's so funny. They have to go on a quest to find Nyarlathotep, which, by the way, the actors are Robert Miano plays Russell Marsh again. The kid Gideon is played by Benjamin Phillip. You have Roger Garcia, who plays Finley. Then you have a dude named Randolph Carter, who's the dock master, played by Timothy Muscatel, that is like inhabited by Finley's previous old one. Rico E. Anderson plays Nyarlathotep. There's a couple other characters like Cabby is played by Cyril O'Reilly. Kelly Maroney is back as Ambrose Zadok. Amelia Marsh, Russell's wife, is played by Sylvia Sprouse, who played his wife in the last one, but that was a different character. This is his wife from like 90 years ago, not his more recent wife. But yeah, it's like they go at one point to like Nyarlathotep, and he's like, I can transport you to Crawford Tillingast's house to use his resonator, but only if you can give me a gift or something. It's like so bizarre and like out there and just weird, but like in a fun way. It's such a stark contrast to the Deep Ones, which is like has that gross, creepy story about like a couple who like do an Airbnb because they can't conceive of a child, and they get like tricked by this cult to like have a monster baby. And that's how that movie, the Deep Ones, ends with her being now pregnant with a monster baby and then inviting another couple to the Airbnb to presumably also like be forced to do monster baby stuff. So it's like not a chill ending. But then this one, like, yeah, the kid and the old man are just cross country quest as they're being pursued by these like cultists who are like behind him. And and they finally get to like Crawford Tillingast's house, and we get a little bit of the scenes of what we saw in From Beyond, like of weird fish monsters that just appear when the resonator is on. But then they use the resonator to like to power it up enough that that Russell can go back in time and wake up the morning he was supposed to go out on the ship that day that he found Cthulhu. And his wife's like, "Don't you have to go out fishing today?" He's like, "No, I'm not going to." But then there's a sinister thing about how, well, if you don't do it, someone else will have to take your place so that events can proceed. And then we cut to Gideon, who's seemingly aware of what happened, but now his dad is alive because Russell didn't end up washed up there, followed by a Deep One creature that went and kill his dad. But then he sees that his dad has a anchor tattoo. His dad is now in the cult. And then that's how it ends.
Was his dad the cult the whole time?
No, just he was replaced when Russell didn't start the cult. So that was the replacement, was Gideon's dad is now in the cult. Does it make a lot of sense? No. But is it way more fun than like the really gross concept of the other movie, the Deep One, the Deep Ones? That's why I'm so surprised that the Deep Ones and the old ones are part of like the same continuity, because number one, they really aren't. And number two is like tonally, they could not be more different. Like the old ones is such a fun, like swashbuckling monster romp. And like the other one is just like way too gross and skeevy. I will say though, one thing I did hate about the old ones is that it's implied that the old ones, like, the old ones are like gods, like Cthulhu and all them and Lovecraftian pantheons. Like they are the old ones are like these gods that are like a step below like the outer gods, which are like the bigger ones like Azathoth and, Yog-Sothoth. Like they're the bigger, more powerful ones. They're like a step down, but they're still like powerful. But in this, it's like just some black goo that people drink, and then like suddenly they're inhabited by an old one. It's like, why on earth would a Cthulhu type creature want to live inside the body of a dude? Like that's so dumb. So yeah, some of the stuff that they do for like the lore is like kind of dumb, but like it's forgivable in the old ones just because it's such a silly and fun movie overall.
Got it.
So because I wanted to bring that up because you told me to watch, or you brought up watching the old ones to me. And I remembered watching the Deep Ones. It's like, I absolutely do not want to watch another movie by that director in that universe. So glad I did. Way more fun.
Yeah, it was on my list. It looked really good. I was like, I was going to watch it, and then I brought it up to you, and you're like, dude, eh.
No, go for it. It's so silly and funny. Yeah, it's so goofy. Right. Yeah, cool. Like that was like one of the parts is like whenever like Russell like goes to the toilet in that diner, he's like, "Oh, I guess I'm not used to eating non-seafood." So he like goes to the shitter and then like gets attacked by a Shoggoth in there. It's so funny, like ridiculously so. So I definitely recommend the old ones. I guess if you need to watch the Deep Ones to kind of understand it, but again, it's kind of loosely a sequel. You just need to know that the cult exists. They're mad at Russell for leaving them. He's on a quest to stop the cult from existing, to stop himself from doing it, 90 years before, because he was like kept alive by the great old ones. Which is why he had like an unnatural lifespan and stuff. So yeah, if you have to watch both for like the continuity, go for it. But I definitely just recommend the old ones. But don't worry, Shane, I have two more movies that aren't part of that continuity.
Nice.
Next up is H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House, which was a 2021 movie. Hey, who's on first? So this is a weirder one. So it's a very loose adaptation of the Lovecraft story, the dreams in the witch house. If you're familiar with that.
I'm not. I don't know that one.
Okay, so basically the original Lovecraft story is about this dude who's like renting a room in the attic of this house, and it has like really weird architecture, and that architecture like allows him to travel to different planes of existence and like encounter different like weird gods, and sign the Book of Azathoth with the help of like a witch named Keziah, who's like this witch, the titular witch. The reason it's a little bit different than the story, number one, is the movie version. This movie version is changes the main character from, I want to say it's Walter Gilman in the story. It's Alice Gilman, so it's a woman. And then like instead of just being like in the story, it's just Keziah Mason is like this ancient witch who is like executed in the Salem witch trials in like 1692. Her and her like weird rat familiar named Brown Jenkin are like the only people who are part of like the coven of sorts. In this movie, the coven actually consists of several witches, so it's not just Keziah Mason and her and Brown Jenkin. And also like they lean a little bit more in the witchcraft elements of it than in like the Lovecraftian elements. Like there are times in the movie where, you know, she'll be in a dreamlike state and stuff like that, but it doesn't get into like Azathoth. It doesn't get into a lot of that stuff. And then like in the story, the original story, it's implied that like there's one baby that's sacrificed in order to like open the gate or whatever needs to happen. And the movie, it seems like Keziah Mason is grabbing up kids left and right and sacrificing like tons of kids. So in the movie here, H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House, which by the way, they cut the title down from, you know, The Dreams in the Witch House. You have Portia Shellilin as Alice Gilman, Julianne Prescott as Tommy, Andrea Collins plays Keziah Mason, very much in makeup though. You would not be able to tell who she is. Erin Trimble as Kelly, Solon Sangaris as Brown Jenkin. There's some other people too, but like that's the main cast is pretty small. But yeah, basically there's some other stuff in this one that's really weird. So like Alice Gilman is like abused. It's assumed, it's like implied that she's been abused by her partner, which is why she needs a new place to live. And then there's like this huge undercurrent of like the witch cult trying to get her pregnant to give birth to a baby that they can sacrifice. But I'm like, but they've been grabbing up babies all over the place. Why do they need her to have a baby? It's like really weird. It's very unfocused. It's very cheaply made and cheaply shot, and some of the sound effects are kind of goofy. I will say that the actor who plays Brown Jenkin actually looks pretty good in his like humanoid rat form. He shows up a couple times to do some stuff. But overall, the movie's just kind of it's simultaneously confusing, but also not that interesting. And yeah, that undercurrent of like the possibility of like making this woman give birth to a baby to be murdered by witches just seems kind of gross and unchill. And yeah, it very much has like a shot on video kind of quality. I will say the performances are really good, especially Portia Shellilin as the main character, Alice Gilman. But there's like so many things that happen in it that are very confusing. Like I don't really understand what the powers are of the witch people and of the cult. Like it seems like they can they kill people and then like resurrect them or like inhabit their body, but it's like, why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. It just kind of is a movie that doesn't really explain itself very well, and then it's over as like quickly as it began. You know, it's like, I think it's a like tight 90 minutes. It's not a lot to it. I don't know. I think there's better adaptations of The Dreams in the Witch House. There is the Masters of Horror episode that was directed by Stuart Gordon, who we love in the show. That one, you can actually find that Masters of Horror episode on Tubi. So just watch that. And then there's also, do you remember that show, The Cabinet of Curiosities, the Guillermo del Toro thing that they did an episode, or they did a series of it on Netflix? There's another loose adaptation of The Dreams in the Witch House in that. So if you'd rather watch, you know, another adaptation, there's a couple out there. None of them really are that close to the actual story, the short story itself, but it's also not a very high up on the Lovecraftian pantheon story. It's very like kind of sensational, a little scatterbrained, you know, kind of unfocused. So, yeah, there you go. H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House. It's on Tubi. If you want to watch it, go for it. I don't recommend it, but it isn't the worst one that I'm going to cover, Shane, because I have one more. Are you ready? I know that this has been a drag for you, but there's one more.
There's a worse one?
There's a worse one, sir.
Making love craft out of nothing at all?
Making love craft out of nothing at all. So this one's going back a little bit further. This is about 10 years ago. It's 2014. It's called H.P. Lovecraft's The Thing on the Doorstep. Now, first thing about this is, yes, the Tubi version of it does not have the correct punctuation in H.P. Lovecraft's, which I think is hilarious. Nice. Yeah, it's very funny. The Thing on the Doorstep is, again, one of Lovecraft's, I don't know, I don't want to say like worst stories. It's definitely like not very important to the larger Lovecraft canon. It's basically just about like this dude, Daniel Upton, whose friend Edward Derby starts dating this woman and marries this woman named Asenath Waite. Asenath Waite had a dad named Ephraim Waite, who like at some point passes away, but then Asenath Waite seems really weird. And it turns out, basically, long story short, that she's actually inhabited by the spirit of her dad, who like can jump bodies, and jumps into her body in order to get to Edward Derby's body. And then the thing at the doorstep at the end is like the charred corpse of Asenath Waite that now contains the soul of Edward Derby, who wants his friend to like kill him so that he can rest. And then like it's a weird one. It's a pretty weird one.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
Yes, yes, it is very weird. There is the another adaptation of this one that I would recommend leaps and bounds over this, which is actually I wrote a review of it. It's Suitable Flesh. If you remember that, the Joe Lynch movie from last year. It's a very loose adaptation, but it's the Suitable Flesh is like very much in the sort of throwback to, Stuart Gordon kind of like Lovecraftian horror. Like,
hey, if someone wanted to know what you thought about that, where could they find it?
On our web at dynamismedia.com or whatever our website is. Yeah, like I have a review there where I talk about it. I go into it, talk about Dennis Paoli, like one of the screenwriters, like often a Stuart Gordon like collaborator. Barbara Crampton is in it, who's also obviously a Stuart Gordon collaborator. Way better than this version. This one is just The Thing on the Doorstep. I will say it's a much more straightforward adaptation of the source material, but again, the source material wasn't that good, so we didn't really need it to be more on the nose. This one is directed by Tom Gleiserman, written by Mary Jane Hansen, who also plays Asenath Waite. David Bunce is Daniel Upton. Rob Dalton is Edward Derby. Susan Ciccarelli Caputo is Marion Upton. And then Harold Gilman, one of the professor friends, is played by Rob Kimura. I will say it's David Bunce, who plays Daniel Upton, seems so much older than Rob Dalton. And like, how can they possibly be childhood friends? He's like 20 years older than him. Like, whatever, it's movies, right? But man, even though this movie came out in 2014, dude, it looks like it was shot on video. It's so bad looking. The audio quality is bad, and there's no special effects to speak of because nothing happens. It's just mostly talking. And the few special effects that do happen look like they're After Effects, like just kind of like superimposed onto the screen. I understand it's a very small movie, but man, the quality of it is so bad. I literally can't recommend it. Even as like a guilty pleasure kind of silly watch, like Witch House was, I just can't recommend this one, man. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say about The Thing on the Doorstep. If you want to watch The Thing on the Doorstep, just watch Suitable Flesh. It's a gender swapped one, but it's like way better. Way more interesting. Yeah. I don't know if I said this though. Dreams in the Witch House. I mentioned some of the cast. It was it was co-written and directed by Bobby Easley. So that was the other thing for Witch House. But yeah, Thing on the Doorstep. Yeah, they probably should have made that Lovecraft out of a little bit more. That was a little bit, basically actually was nothing at all. So there you go. That concludes my segment. Making Lovecraft out of nothing at all. Making Lovecraft out of nothing at all. Making Lovecraft out of nothing at all. So there you go, 4 Lovecraftian movies. The beauty of it is there's always going to be like low budget Lovecraftian adaptations just coming out. So we can reuse this segment if we want to, if it's a hit, if the audience craves it.
It'll hit.
Yeah, if the audience craves more Lovecraft out of nothing at all, we can get it to them, get it for them. So there you go. That was my segment. My segment,
nice. Making
Lovecraft out of nothing at all. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to go over?
No, I think you did enough to save air supply as much as you tried.
Cool air supply, I think you mean.
Yeah, cool air supply. Yeah, solid. I know we haven't done this in a while. I know you kind of had this queued up, and is it? I know we try to do everything on Tubi or free so people can watch it, but like the more that this happens, the more that I feel like I should just get Shudder and just stay on Shudder. I know they don't have everything, but yeah, it just sucks sometimes,
What are you talking about? The next segment?
Yeah.
The Tubituaries. This is our occasional segment where we go over things that are leaving Tubi, RIP. Run, don't walk to your Tubi app if you want to catch them before they leave. But also sometimes they don't leave. So then we just look like fools. We look like foolish fools. All right, you just want me to go through the list? I wrote some of them down ahead of time.
Yeah, sure.
Arachnia, which is a spider one. It's pretty cool. Bad Blood, Devil May Call, Evil Takes Root. A lot of like devil-oriented ones. The Terror Experiment, The Grudge 2. A triple threat of Silent Night, Deadly Nights. So Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation. And Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. Gonzilla, where they're out.
Is dead. Yeah. It's dead to us.
Yeah, unless they don't go, and then again, fools. Then keeping with the Christmas theme, Santa Jaws is leaving, so RIP to a real one. Werewolf Santa, which seems like a lazy title. Like I think you could have done a little more with that. Trailer Park of Terror, A Werewolf in England, which just seems kind of like a ripoff of an American Werewolf in London. King Cobra. A kind of fun sword and sorcery one. I'm kind of disappointed to see it go. Warrior Queen is that on its way out? Yeah, Warrior Queen is on the way out.
Damn, that sucks.
It does. Yeah, I like that movie.
I have to watch that.
Yeah, do it before it goes. Dino Croc versus Super Gator. So if you ever wanted to figure out which fictional sci-fi channel Gator was the best, yeah, get on that. I guess that one's not going to be on another installation of He Was a Gator Boy.
Oh no,
I know. The Curse of Halloween Jack, A Vampire's Tale, The Devil Within. There's one that's leaving called Blood in the Water. And I only mention this one because in the tagline on the top of like the movie poster, the thumbnail, it says, "It's Saw meets Jaws." I'm like, what? In what way? Like, what do you mean? Like,
it's a shark movie with bad writing.
Well, the shark is just like, would you like to play a game? Because I don't have hands.
Yeah,
so you
the
have to help
shark's
me.
a serial killer.
Yeah.
And it captures people and makes elaborate sea-themed murder rooms.
Except it doesn't have hands, so it needs someone else to build its traps for it.
Well, except he just puts them in underwater caves. They just drown, and you can't figure out what's going on.
Yeah, he's too dumb to understand how like oxygen works. It's like
because he's a shark.
Yeah, because he's a shark.
Stupid sharks.
Stupid sharks. Oh, here's a sad one. The Lair of the White Worm is leaving. Just got our episode out just in time. Fido, which is an interesting zombie movie. Goodnight Mommy, which is a pretty terrifying German horror film. I definitely recommend that one if you're in the mood for something kind of creepy and interesting. It's like about
again?
Goodnight Mommy. It's like about these like twin boys whose like mother goes in for like some plastic surgery, and she comes back and her face is all bandaged up. And the boys are convinced that's not their real mom and like start doing like these elaborate things to mess with her.
I wanted to see this and I couldn't remember that this came out during COVID, right?
I think it's older than that. There might
no, 2022. Yeah. So this didn't hit theaters, right?
No. So okay, Goodnight Mom, you're talking about the remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there was the Goodnight Mommy that I'm talking about. The German one is from 2014, and I believe that's the one that's leaving.
Nachtmutter.
It looks like the German title is Ich sehe. So no, it's not Nachtmutter. Yeah, there's an American remake though that came out, and that one, like dropped on Prime in 2022. I didn't see that one. I don't know if it's good. I know that the German one is real creepy, but I also know some people don't like to watch movies with subtitles. So if like you have a hard time with that, maybe go to the American remake. It has like Naomi Watts in it. I didn't hear terrible things about it, but I'm always suspicious of American remakes of like popular like horror movies because they just dropped the Speak No Evil remake. Like the American version, and I've heard that they softened the ending of that significantly. I'm like, come on, guys, what are you doing? But all right, moving on down the list here. Werewolves of the Third Reich. So if you want your Nazi werewolf movie, get on it. Battle Royale. Don't Talk to Strangers. Oh no, H.P. Lovecraft's The Deep Ones, the movie I was just talking about earlier.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean that one can go as long as they keep.
What about the wide ones?
All right, Reverend Jim Moore.
Oh man, dude, shots fired.
It's because he always used to sign his emails "East like a river" when we were in college.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that joke.
I did. There's a series of what?
Methodist upbringing.
What was that?
It's our Methodist upbringing.
Yeah, we had to be hostile towards Presbyterianism.
Yeah,
it's required. A series of
that's what John Wesley wanted.
Sure. I feel like didn't John Wesley just pretty much just want to write hymns? Wasn't that about all he really wanted to do?
Okay, so I saw his grave. It was in Stirling. It's in the castle graveyard. I went to Stirling, Scotland. It's like a weird ass. He has like a statue. It's kind of weird for a Methodist. I thought it'd be a little more plain, but it definitely wasn't.
Well, he founded a whole religion, basically. Well, I mean, it's just a denomination, but he still founded it.
Yeah.
That was like the only thing I remember from like my confirmation classes when I was like a kid. Is like, it feels like the Wesleys just wanted to write hymns. Like that's all they really cared about. And then they started a whole denomination over it.
It's like, I got this new banger coming out.
It's like, you don't get it, but your kids are going to love it. All right. Moving on from Wesleyan theology. A series of Roy Rogers Westerns are leaving. I wrote down a few of them. Spoilers of the Plains, Down Dakota Way, Man from Oklahoma. There's a few more. It must be some kind of licensing thing with Roy Rogers Westerns. An adaptation of The Turn of the Screw. I've never seen this one, but it can't be worse than The Turning, the one that just came out with like Finn Wolfhard in it. What else we got? Deliver Us from Evil, Creep, but not that Creep. All three Ginger Snaps are on the chopping block. Ginger Snaps 2, and then Ginger Snaps Back the Beginning. The Burrowers, May. Hellraiser Revelations, which I know you're disappointed because you're hoping that we could eventually do like a tier list of Hellraiser movies. I had to tell you that like number one, after the first two, they basically all suck. And number two is like, I don't know anywhere we could get like access to all of the Hellraiser movies that like all over the place.
3 was manageable.
It's fine.
And it offers some like insight on some of the stuff. There's some exposition. I don't think 3 is that bad. All right. I've never seen 4 and on, so.
I just feel like after Hellbound, like the second one, it was just like all downhill. But you know what?
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's watch all the Hellraiser movies and we'll decide.
But sometimes it's fun to run downhill.
It is.
You fall and trip,
sometimes it is fun. And then we can do the remake at the end because the remake is actually pretty decent in my opinion. Like it's not as good as the original, but like it's still pretty good. Continuing down the list, we're losing out on The Dentist and The Dentist 2. So if you're hoping to get some of your anti-dentite feelings out by watching a dentist murder people, sorry, they're going to be gone.
Bummer.
No Malone is leaving, but I feel like No Malone has left before, so who knows? Beyond Reanimator, the third Reanimator movie that wasn't great. No Malone, yeah, it's very funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's kind of why I want to watch it, but I know I'm going to be disappointed. Like, no title can be like that much of an awesome pun, and then also be good. I still want to
watch Elf. We gotta watch Elves.
Let's do it. Let's find it and get it on.
Oh, dude, I picked so many bad ones. I know that's not going to be good.
No, that's fine. Like I said, Beyond Reanimator, which is kind of a disappointing installment in the Reanimator canon. Oh no, Chud 2, Bud the Chud. Not a very good movie because they're just zombies. They're not chuds. It's very disappointing. He's very much not a chud. Warlock 3, The End of Innocence, which makes me think that like the other Warlocks are probably leaving, but I didn't see them on my list. But I think that the version that I have of like the leaving soon is like always partial. Cronenberg's Shivers is on the way out. Here's one's going to hurt your heart. So I'm sorry I have to tell you, Shane. Dagon is going.
Damn.
I know by
I
to
feel like
Stuart
it's been on the
Gordon's
block
Dagon.
for a while though.
It has, yeah. I feel like it's that licensing stuff. Like there must be something like that saves them at the last minute. Unlike the Stuff, which definitely did get taken up, and I did see why. It was because the Stuff went to AMC Plus. So like that's probably part of the licensing thing with like some of those movies. They get scooped up by like a bigger and more powerful streaming service. Where was I? Oh, next up was It Waits, which is a movie that I had on DVD when I was a kid. Waxwork 2. So like, again, I think Waxwork 1 was probably on the chopping block, but I didn't see it there. Here's another one for the show that hurts. Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. On the Way Out.
Wow.
Bye to Ghoulies.
Damn, Mrs. Krabappel.
Mrs. Krabappel on the way out. Pancake? But yeah, no, then Hatchet is gone. They have sometimes they come back again, and sometimes they come back ellipses for more. But I didn't see sometimes they
keep
back.
coming back.
Ellipses do, yeah. Like no matter how much we want them to stay away. Lake Mungo, which again I think I brought up Lake Mungo earlier today because it's a found footage movie. It's very good. Night of the Living Dead Resurrection, which I think is like an unauthorized Night of the Living Dead sequel because it was in public domain, so they can just do what they want to with that. Another one of those straight to DVD, straight to streaming horror movies. Mongolian Deathworm is leaving, so I don't know where it'll end up, but probably nowhere anyone cares to look. Zombie Diaries 2, and then The Thirst was the last one I put down. So, yeah, that's the group of movies that like looked interesting to me. I don't know if there's anything that you saw, if you went and checked the list that you wanted to bring up that I might have missed.
No, I think you got a solid smattering of what like we would care about. There's always really weird movies on there that are leaving that I'm like, why is this even on here? So it must be so cheap, or they buy like bundles. You know what I mean? Like, hey, pay us this much, you get these, 100 movies.
Yeah, I assume it's probably like production company or something like that, where it's just like just get it in bulk. Just got it.
Like
they
a
just
library. You're like buying a library.
Right. Yeah. Just like the production company has the rights to all these things. And it's like, do you want to stream them? Pay us this fee and you'll just get all these movies, and they do it. And then like they all leave at once. Yeah. So some real disappointing ones, really, really hard to see, Lair of the White Worm possibly go again, but I'm glad we got it the time in. Warrior Queen, again, that one is one that I'm going to probably rewatch because who knows where it'll end up. So yeah, there you go. That was the two obituaries for the back half of September. And I think some of these are actually going to be gone like in 5 days. They'll actually be gone before this episode drops. So sorry to those who might have seen something they wanted. Yeah. Because usually stuff leaves like mid-month and at the end of the month. It's very weird for them to leave at like the 20th. That's such a strange day to leave. But I don't make the rules. I just live in the world. So there you go. The two obituaries have occurred.
Damn.
I know. R.I.P.
to some real ones.
R.I.P. to some real ones.
And some couldn't leave fast enough.
Yeah. H.P. Lovecraft's The Deep Ones. Get out of here.
Yeah.
We don't need you. We don't need another Humanoids of the Deep style movie. No one wanted that.
We don't.
All right. Well then, we got a lot done. We did the Terrible 20. We did Making Love Craft Out of Nothing at All. And we did the two obituaries. One thing I want to do before if we're making our way downtown. No, but if we're about to probably aim to sign off, sure. I do want to shout out Rebel Revolver for giving us the theme song to our podcast. It's awesome. Sort of an aside, I was actually present for them filming a music video recently, so I'm sure we'll share that once it drops. I'm not sure how long it takes for things to be produced. I'm sure a lot of time because there's a lot of work that goes into it, but it's super fun to be a part of that. And then they had a live show after that. But yeah, go follow their socials. They'll probably have some upcoming events if you're in the Pittsburgh area and you want to go see some great local music, support local artists. Rebel Revolver is out there, so shout out to them.
Yeah, and shout out to PC Riley, drummer of Rebel Revolver. I published a book earlier this year. It all comes out in the wash. You can find that on Amazon, and I think you can get it digitally as well. And half of the proceeds go to the Pittsburgh Humane Society. So if you want to support a good friend and a good cause, definitely give the book a look. Take a look and a book. PC Riley.
Ooh, that was really close. I think we were about to get sued by LeVar Burton. Luckily, you pumped the brakes on that and changed it up enough that it's parody.
Yeah.
I say that. Meanwhile, I just like half of the things I do are just song parody versions of stuff. Yeah, literally Air Supply is like drafting like a cease and desist for us right now.
I have to figure out what music I'm going to put over or near that. And I don't even know. Cause like, it's like trying to describe Air Supply to someone that's never heard Air Supply. It's kind of weird. It's like, imagine if like 70s music got worse.
Wow. You don't like Air Supply? Why am I just hearing about this? Oh my God. You failed me.
I don't hate them. I'm not like obsessed with them, I guess. I like some of their stuff's good.
Well, no, not like anyone's obsessed with them, but they're good.
I'm sure they're.
But yeah, what about like All Out of Love? Come What May?
Yeah.
Lost in Love? A lot of titles have Lovecraft in them, or love in them.
I know you could have really nailed in with the Cold Air Supply.
Cool Air Supply.
Cool Air. Sorry.
That's how I know you've not read a lot of Lovecraft. You don't even know the names of the stories.
Yeah, I can't even read apparently with my grammar. So
I never learned to read. Yeah,
I learned it from you.
I learned it from watching you. I'm all out of Lovecraft. That doesn't work as well. I feel like making Lovecraft out of nothing at all works because that
it does.
Like that. Yeah, the chorus of that song like really like drags. So I have plenty of time to throw craft in. Making Lovecraft out of nothing at all. Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good song. But all right, well, stay tuned for next time that I'm going to do more Lovecraft adaptations because there's so many of them on Tubi, dude.
So many.
It's crazy. I could even do some good ones. Like I could actually maybe talk about, I could have just done an entire thing about like, here's this bad witch house movie. And then here's a couple good versions that I can also talk about. Like because I did actually, today I threw on the Masters of Horror segment, the Stuart Gordon Dreams in the Witch House adaptation. So just a little palate cleanser before I started doing the thing on the doorstep. Because I thought that H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House, that movie would be the worst one I did. Oh no. Thank you, Thing on the Doorstep, for existing and being so much worse than I could have ever hoped for. I really loved that. Lovecrafted that.
Nice. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I think you should. I like, we could do tier lists on that too. I'm a fan of tier lists, folks.
It really seems like you want to do another tier list. How about we do that? Let's do another tier list. I had so much fun doing that. I had so much fun doing that. All right. Yeah, you heard it here first, audience. We're going to do another tier list for maybe not the next intermission, but like maybe the one after that. That's why, that's kind of why we can't do it for the next one, because we need time to go through an entire series of movies.
We'll do 2 weeks.
We got a whole hour.
A whole hour.
Okay. Yeah, well, all right, let's
figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You tell me, hey, here's the thing, maybe, audience, suggest what you want to hear another tier list of if you are a listener of this. And before the Witch of the Woods starts typing up the word Saw.
I swear to Christ.
Yeah, do not tell us to do Saw, because guess what? It'll all be D tier.
Yeah. We'll even take down the ones we like-ish down a couple pegs.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are the internet's only horror podcast, So.
The only one.
The only one.
All right, well then I guess we're probably ready to sign off. Do you want me to see what Darkside Dave is doing, if he's ready to help us put an end to this?
Yeah, as long as he's not mid-match. Don't want to get him flamed for leaving.
Hey, Dave, why don't you just pause that game?
You can't pause online games.
Oh, hold on. No, I see. You're done. That's the end of the game. Yeah, you're about to go to the lobby. Get out of that lobby.
Shit.
No.
Yeah, get over here. We're doing a sign off. Do you want me to Venmo you more bones? Get in here.
I do need my bones. Chain rattle. Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, I know you're here. I could hear you. I was in the same room as you. It's one of the things the audience doesn't understand is you stay here a lot.
I know, and you only have one parking space for your unit, so I have to use the guest parking for my Dragula.
I know it sucks, but like I'm the one who's on the mortgage here, so I am the one who gets the premium space.
Well, boo to you. I'm your guest.
It's like, no, you're not a guest if you're here all the time. You just live here.
Well, fair point. Anyways, this has been another episode of The Dark Side Drive-In Intermission. Now you shall say goodbye to your hosts with a significant number of ghosts. Stefan.
Yeah, man, we'll have to work on some more closing lines for you, because if you're going to keep getting these Venmo bones, I'm going to need you to step up your pun game.
Fine. if I could only read a thesaurus, but I don't have eyes. And your other host, Shane.
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome. It's good to be appreciated by someone around here. Oh no, my match is queuing up. I gotta go. Bye.
It's so crazy how you can tell when his match is going to queue up. He doesn't even have eyes.
Oh, Dave.
Indeed. All right. Well, that's it. I think we're done.
We did it.
We did it. All right.
We made Lovecraft out of nothing at all.
We made Lovecraft out of nothing at all. All right. That's it for me. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye.
Bye.
He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. From Dynamis Media comes a horror cyclopedia, watching movies from the gates of hell. Covers ripped from a blockbuster shell. Officer Bosch is the only good cop. Jugs and the stuff just can't be stopped. Things get hairy in the werewolves there. Turn the corner and the prowler is there. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. Shane's the one who runs the show. He produces and keeps the flow. The Savini of the ones and twos. Only Jack Cordell has bigger shoes. Stephen does the bulk of the research. His descriptions just can't be besmirched. Lots of synopses are the top of lore. Just like Lamson, you'll be begging for more. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
Thank you. Have a nice